पातु माम्। ॐ परमं पदगुं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुराततम् यणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। वर्णौ सयुजौ सखाय येन साम्ना वषट्कारेण वज्रेण परजानिन्द्रे घ्नन्तो वृत्राण्यप्रति देव्येन साम्ना वषट्कारेण वज्रेण परजान्यप्रति नोर्नुकं वीर्याणि प्रवोचय्यः पार्थिवानि विममे रसि विष्णोष्ण्यप्त्रे रसि विष्णोर्ध्रुवमसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वरो गिरिष्ठाः यस्य त्रिषु विक्रमणेषु अधिक्षियन्ति भुवनानि विश्वा अवन्तु नो पृथिव्याः सप्तधामभिः नाम हरि या सुजातः कश्यपो या सागुं याति मध्ये सत्यानृते अवपश्यन् जनानाम् अधस्ना भवन्तु यासां देवादिवि कृण्वन्ति भक्षय्या अन्तरिक्षे बहुधा भवन्ति याः पृथिवी चक्षसे यो वः शिवतमो वृषभ एधिहव्यः इन्द्रो जयाति न पराजयाताधिराजो राजसुराजयाति प्रसवेश्विनोर्बाहुभ्यां पुष्भ्यामाददे फलिनीर्या फला पुष्पायाश्च पुष्पिणीः मन्त्रपुष्पदक्षिणां समर्पयामि मङ्गलनीराजनदीपं सन्दर्शयामि वेद्याय मेघश्यामलमूर्तये पुंसां मोहनरूपा
నేను సన్ ప్యూర్ ఫిజికలీ రిఫైన్డ్ సన్ఫ్లవర్ నూనెతో వండాను. ఇమ్యూనిటీ ఇచ్చే విటమిన్స్ ఏ, డి, ఇ ఇందులో పుష్కలంగా ఉన్నాయి. ఇందులో ఉన్న మూఫా హార్ట్ కి చాలా మంచిది. సన్ ప్యూర్ సులభంగా జీర్ణం అవడానికి సహాయపడుతుంది.
సన్ ప్యూర్ ఫిజికలీ రిఫైన్డ్ సన్ఫ్లవర్ ఆయిల్ फैंटास्टिक 5 तो।
अरे कृष्णा, अरे ये आपकी उंगली ये स्किप बटन पे क्या कर रही है? अरे इसको हटा लो। अरे दो मीठी बातें बोलनी है हमें तो आपसे। सबसे पहले तो धन्यवाद, आप लोगों ने इतना सहयोग दिया है हमारे रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश इस्कॉन द्वारका मंदिर के लिए। धन्यवाद। अब हम मंदिर के फाइनल फेज में पहुंच गए हैं, यानी कि स्ट्रक्चर पूरा हो गया है, लेकिन अब अगले 1 साल में हमको फिनिशिंग करनी है और फिनिशिंग में हमें ज्यादा लक्ष्मी की आवश्यकता पड़ती है। तो इसीलिए भगवान ने बहुत कुछ दिया है आपको, आगे भी वही चलाएगा। भगवान का मंदिर आप नहीं बनाएंगे तो भला कौन बनाएगा? तो इसीलिए इसी प्रकार से सहयोग देते रहिए प्लीज। और अब हमें ज्यादा लक्ष्मी की आवश्यकता है, बिकॉज नाउ वी आर इन द फाइनल फेज ऑफ दिस टेंपल ऑफ श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश। सो प्लीज क्लिक करिए, डोनेट करिए, सुदामा सेवक बनिए, यानी कुछ ना कुछ थोड़ा बहुत अमाउंट आप देना शुरू करें जैसे आप देते आए हैं, और लोगों को भी इंस्पायर करिए ताकि हम भगवान श्री कृष्ण का ये सुंदर मंदिर, जिसने की जनमानस की इतनी सेवा की है, चाहे वो कोविड का समय हो, प्री कोविड हो या पोस्ट कोविड हो, इस मंदिर के भक्तों ने इतनी सेवा की है रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश के आशीर्वाद की छत्र छाया में। सो इसीलिए प्लीज 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 आई रिक्वेस्ट यू, आई बेग यू, प्लीज काइंडली कीप डोनेटिंग फॉर आवर रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश टेंपल। थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्णा।
The Anuradha star of this Ashadha, the birth star of a very deity, was Lord Sri Ramachandra. Today being his birth, and we are all witnessing that divine Abhisheka function. We are offering Abhishekam to the Lord, Sri Rama. He accepts that material as his divine body and blesses us from there to fulfill our, he accepts whatever the words we use as his services. But in temples, because temple is for the sake of as by the trained acharyas, archakas. That is for communities. He is acts to us as Archa Avatara, appearing for us in an immobile form. And from there, he follows the rules of a stone. And thus he blesses us. When he accepts a metal as his form, people make a clay form of Ganesha, right? And then they do puja. We Hindus are able to create gods and merge gods also into the waters. It's not that we are able to create and merge them. It is the grace of God accepts a specific form, and when he acts like our body, what is these elements made of for our body? In time limit, yes? Our bodies have certain time limits like, maximum 100 years, maximum. But the one whom we are celebrating today, who is that person I said? Natha Muni Swami. He lived for 330 years. Do you remember? Do you believe in it? You need to. You need to believe because of his yogic powers. Because of the practice of his yoga, he was able to be on this planet for 330 years with good health. Ramanujacharya Swami, whom we call today as the Statue of Equality, lived for 120 years. Now we are so great so that we can reduce our age to, depends, 70, 80, 90, maybe 100. But a few more brilliant guys, they still reduce their age for 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, like that. How you misuse this, thus the age reduces. How you use it properly, the age span increases. But the cycle of the age for a person is considered as 120 years. Satamanam bhavati. Usually people bless it, right? Satamanam. 100, they say. 100 means 120 becomes the full age. But of course, there are some great souls. They, because of their yogic power, with the yoga they practice like the pranayama, etc., they expanded their age. Nathamuni was a not normal person. He was a very, very great yogi. Nathaya munaye agadha bhagavat bhakti sindhave. He was the ocean of the devotion. And devotion is also was with yogic power. How many of you are acquainted with North Indian deities called Srinath Ji? Did you hear? Srinath Ji in Rajasthan. They say there is a big temple. I think probably as you have the Lord Tirumala, Balaji Swami, Venkateshwara Swami here, thus in the north they consider the Srinath Ji as the most powerful deity. That Srinath Ji is Lord Krishna. His name became Srinath Ji because Natha Muni Swami worshipped him. You understand? Where? In Vrindavan. Near Vrindavan, there is a place called Govardhan, where Lord Krishna was carrying the mountain Govardhan for 7 days on his single finger, little finger. That Govardhana Parvatam, the Govardhana Mount Govardhan was there. And next to that, there is another hill. On the top of the hill, Nathamuni Swami used to live for long doing the meditation and Lord Krishna's Aradhana because he loved Lord Krishna so much. As he loved Sri Rama, he loved Sri Krishna also so much. And most of his times he used to spend there on the banks of river Yamuna. That was the reason he instructed his disciples to name his grandson, who did not born yet, as Yamunacharya, one who is connected to river Yamuna. He wanted to name him as Yamunacharya. That means his connectivity with the river Yamuna and the Lord Krishna, who moves always on the banks of river Yamuna, is so strong and so divine and so eternal. He used to worship Lord Krishna in the deity form, being on the hill near Govardhan. Even today, if you go to Govardhan, they show that place to you. If at all you go to Vrindavan and then go to Govardhan, they will show you a place where Nathamuni Swami used to live and meditate upon the Lord. That is still there, a nice beautiful temple. And also there is a room where he used to be always and do meditation. That also they will show you. During the Mughal regime, when there was a problem, then the deity, Lord Krishna's deity there, was moved to Rajasthan for safety reasons. And since then on, he used to be there in a temple which you call today as the Lord who was worshipped by Natha Swami. So his name became Sri Nath Ji. Otherwise he is Lord Krishna only. Right? So Nathamuni Swami was such a great, the deity who was worshipped by him is nowadays receiving the glorious Aradhanas in that place of Rajasthan. Okay. Deity form is very, very powerful. Lord appears in that form. And whichever material you create to him as a form, he just simply follows those rules. That is what you need to understand. For Ganesha, you create some clay as his divine form. And you wanted him to be there for, say, some people worship for 3 days, Some people keep for 9 days, something like that. So the moment you invite him into that form, that means you are inviting Prana Shakti into that. Prana Shakti. When the Prana Shakti is there, then it is an entity like you and I. But when you withdraw the Prana Shakti from that, what do you do? If the Prana Shakti from this body is withdrawn, you can't withdraw that. It is God withdraws. But when he withdraws the Prana Shakti from here, then what do you do with this? Do you keep home? What do? You dispose it off in whatever way it is needed. Some people do some sort of samskara, but that's okay. But you have to dispose it off. So when you invite Ganesha into a clay form, and when you withdraw the Prana Shakti from that, after that specific time, like 9 days, 3 days or 5 days, then you have to dispose of that, the material that is clay. So you have to merge that into a water base. That is what we do as Nimajjanam. Imagine, because it is a clay, you have to drop into the water base. Understand? But if it is a metal, then what to do? Suppose you made the Ganesha with gold, right? Using a minimum of 5 to 6 kgs of gold, and you made a nice Ganesha, and you worshipped that. Say, invited the Prana Shakti and disposed of that Prana Shakti from that. Then what do? Do you take it for Nimajjana? 5 kgs of gold. Do you do Nimajjanam? No. For metal, samskaram is different. Because it is clay, you have to put it into the, merge into the waters. But if it is made of a stone or a metal, after that Prana Shakti is withdrawn, one abhishekam to that purifies that metal. You can reuse it. But with clay, once the Prana Shakti is withdrawn, you cannot reuse it. Some people keep that clay, the deities also, for years together, which is not recommended by the scriptures. You have to dispose it off. But if it is made of a stone, then do one abhishekam to that, then it becomes again fit for next use. Or if it is made of a metal, like brass, bronze, copper, silver, gold, or any kind of metal. Once you invited the Prana Shakti and withdraw the Prana Shakti, and if you offer abhishekam, you can reuse that as his divine form. That's why in our temples, when the procession deity is taken on a procession, after returning, they offer one abhishekam. And then Aradhana can be offered on a normal process. Understand? So, God accepts that as his form and follows the law of that specific material, whichever form he accepted. There, he receives all your services, and you can offer them as you offer to your beloved baby. Beloved baby. Now you are seeing here, first of all, our acharyas here, they invited him. and then requested him, "Hey Lord, we want to offer Abhishekam to you. Please allow us to offer this service," and accept it. And then Lord accepts. And then they start. How do we offer Abhishekam to a little baby? You know, bathing the babies. How do you do? First of all, after waking up, then you do the Danta Dhavana. Danta Dhavanam is brushing the teeth, right? And then cleaning the tongue, Jihva Nirlekhanam, they call it. Then that is also offered to the deities here. Because he accepts all the services as you offer to a little baby. Archakas treat him as a little baby, and with all sort of love and affection, they offer those services so that he won't be suffocated, right? And then they offer oil. In olden days, I think mothers used to do all these kind of services. I think probably you don't know because you are in London. But when we are young, small, then we used to watch, we used to see. For small little babies, mothers first of all, they give the castor oil, amada, and honey. They heat up a little, mix up honey with that, and then they make the babies drink it. What they call it? Uggu pettuta. Uggu pettaro yamma. You know, Annamacharya sang the beautiful song while offering the Abhishekam to the Lord. Uggu pettuta. In Telugu, they call it as Uggu pettuta. You know? And then, after that, mother makes the baby to do all sorts of physical exercises, moving the hands, moving the legs, moving in front and forth, all these kind of small exercises to the baby. Mother offers. Then she applies oil to the baby. And then they take some kind of powder, what they call as the bathing powder, sunnupindi. And then they apply that after just, soaking it. And then for few moments, it will be dried. A little bit dried, then they rub the body so that it will be again totally removed. After that, they take the amalakatoyam. What is the amalakam? Is a amla, gooseberries. Yeah, they take that mixed up with the water and then they apply to the body because the skin becomes active with that. So they apply that. Then they take a turmeric powder and then they apply the turmeric powder all through the body. We can see all those services here. That's why I'm explaining to you now. You see all these things they are performing now. And then they take chandana water. Chandana means sandal powder. Mix up with the water and they offer the abhishekam with that to the babies. We used to observe when mother offers the bath to the babies, they used to use 21 parts full of the water with some kind of lukewarm, not so hot, not so cold. They test the water first of all before offering. Govinda! If you go to temples, the traditional temples like Srirangam, You can observe that. The archakas, before offering the water, they first put their finger into the water, they check what is the temperature of the water. It should not be so hot and so cold, lukewarm. Such water, they start offering like 21 parts they keep. And some water, they keep the hand like this to the baby and then offer. Sometimes they raise the head like this, cheeks, and then they offer here. And some water on the back, some water on the stomach. Did you ever observe? Do you offer like that to the babies? Here it is prohibited. Whatever the process to spoil the health, that are to be observed here. So, all the 21 parts of water, pot means not small pot, it's a kudam, big kudam, you know. So, thus they offer the water, and finishing that they pat the baby to dry slowly, and then take the sambrani, the incense powder. What do you call it? Sambrani? Sambrani only, that's okay. And then they put it on the fire, and with the smoke of the sambrani, then they take the baby and warm the baby up. And then they take the cloth and make it smooth, and then they clean the ears and clean the nose and clean the eyes. And then the mother dresses the baby, and then they apply the dots. What they call it? Akkulu. They used to call it as akkulu. They make it in a process. There is a process to make it. And then they apply the what you call liners? Eyeliner. That's also, there is a process to make it. With the castor oil in a copper plate, they get the smoke, and then they prepare it, adding the pure ghee with that powder, and then they make it, and it creates a kind of beauty to the eyes, adds beauty to the eyes, not the chemical stuff, which is made from the natural sources. All these services are done to the babies. Then mother decorates the baby and then keeps in the cradle and then feeds a little food and then swings gently the cradle and then puts the baby into sleep. All the services we see with the babies, mothers doing. Archakas feel themselves as mothers, and they treat the Lord as a baby, and then they offer these services to the Lord, who accepts all the services being the deity. He accepted the deity form for that purpose, and he doesn't move only to receive the services like that. We know if he starts moving, he is not available to anybody. He keeps on running here and there. Already he is a naughty guy, and then eats butter a lot, and then applies the butter on the skin, and even you won't be able to catch hold of him, because even if you catch, that's the reason he accepts to be in the deity form, so that you can offer the services with all love and affection. the offering process of these kind of services with love is the one Nathamuni Swami taught us. He used to do all these services to Lord Krishna, that to the Srinath ji, and it seems thus he was there for hundreds of years. And today is that Nathamuni Swami's birthday. Observe the Abhishekam, enjoy the Abhishekam, and remember that Lord is there even in your heart. Right? The same Srinath ji, or here in the form of Lord Rama, is there in your heart. And you have love also towards him. You have dedication, right? The dedication is the water, and your heart is the kalasa. Make your heart as kalasa, and then keep offering that dedication, that concerned love, what we call as Shraddha, to him as Abhishekam here. And in the process of offering, of course, they offer milk, yogurt, honey, fruit juice, ghee, and different types of oshadhis also mixed with the water, and thus they offer it. Okay, each one is a symbolic one, remember. Milk is a symbol of knowledge. How? Because milk comes from the cows. Cows are symbols of Vedas, isn't it? Go means words, vak. And Upanishads, the essence of Vedas, are considered as cows. Sarvopanishado gavaha. All the Upanishads are considered as cows. And whatever they give are the divine qualities of God. And those divine qualities, or the knowledge about those divine qualities, is considered as milk. And when milk is cultured, turns to yogurt, right? That becomes whatever you call it, yogurt or curd, whatever you call it, that is how, when it is saturated. That means the knowledge, when turns to devotion, and the devotion is fixed in you in the form of faith. That is called yogurt. Yogurt symbolizes that. And when the yogurt is churned, thus comes butter. And when the butter is heated up, that turns to ghee. Yes? And when your faith thinks more and more about that Lord as the process of churning by services, then comes out of that the butter, which even with a little amount of heat turns to ghee. And that is what we call the sneha. Sneham is devotion. Govinda! Bol Sita Ramachandra Maharaj ki. And it won't be able to bear with the separation from the Lord. Even a fraction of second of separation becomes the fire-like, which melts the butter. That forms the ghee, which is called Vairagya. So, Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya, that is the ghee you offer. And then, what is the honey? Honey is the result of the flowers. Flowers are your qualities. You cultivate good qualities like ahimsa, satyam, arjavam, being truthful and being straightforward, being compassionate for the fellow beings. All these are good qualities which we want to inculcate in ours are called honey. These are the flowers. The result of the flowers is the honey. And honey symbolizes that our preeti, which is like taila dharavad, avichirna smrti santana preeti rupa, what you call is a bhakti, which is just never breaks in between, not able to bear with not able to be able to break even for a fraction of a second. That's how the flow goes, isn't it? That is what we call the divine love. And when such a kind of love comes in the heart, whatever you do becomes His service. Wherever you do becomes His service. Whatever you are doing, you dedicate every service to Him. That is called offering the result to the Lord. Phala. Karma phala tyaga. Sarva karma phala tyaga. That is what Lord asks us to do. Sarva karma phala tyagaha tatah kuru. Then you have to dedicate everything. You will be dedicating, of course, normally everything to His lotus feet. That is what they offer as the fruit juice to the Lord. Each one is beautifully organized in our worship, in our daily puja, or in the services we offer to the Lord in the temples, which we need to understand and feel it. And if you offer such a kind of abhishekam here, and you want to retain it always, isn't it? So for which He supports us. You offer these things there, and whatever is offered, then they give us as Iravade Tirtham. They give us with that, whatever that offered, that milk, yogurt, butter, honey, ghee, fruit juice, all they mix up and give us the tirtham. That means offering there, the deity who receives makes our feelings here, whatever we thought, whatever we realized as real, eliminating all the sins from us. So we take the tirtham after finishing the abhishekam. Understand? All this is a very beautiful description given by the Agama scriptures, but we were not really aware of all those things. It was Nathamuni Swami from his time. Govinda, who taught us all these things and made these as practices in the temples, so that we can witness, we can feel, experience, and own them. Own them. Nathamuni Swami's contribution to the world is the devotion, what you call the bhakti movement. Because of him only we know all these things. I'll tell you how. Nathamuni Swami, of course, was most of the times in the Madhura and Vrindavan and Govardhan, always thinking of Lord Krishna and His grace and His greatness, so on and so forth. But probably he used to come to South India also occasionally, because the very birthplace of him is in some part of Tanjore district called Kattumannar. You know, there was a Rama temple, that was his birthplace. He used to come now and then, because in those days there were no flights, no fast trains, no buses. All the way they used to probably, go on foot, and which probably takes a few months or years. That's why occasionally he used to come. Once he came to South India like that, after a long time, and then he went to a place called Kumbhakonam. Probably we must be hearing this name Kumbhakonam, right? We use that in a sarcastic way also. అంగేదో కుంభకోణం నడందది, అక్కడ ఏదో కుంభకోణం జరిగిందండి బాబు అక్కడ అంటే సంథింగ్ some scam. But the Kumbhakonam is the name of that place, the sacred place where Lord Ramachandra is gracing that place with his divine presence. When he visited the temple, of course he was a great Sanskrit scholar. During that time, Prabandha was Divya Prabandham, what in most of the temples people chant, was not much prevalent. He went to the temple, and when he was observing the priests offering the services, they started chanting some Tamil songs. The very beginning of the Tamil song started with a so beautiful word like Ara Amude Adiye Nudalam Ninpalanbaye. Like that the song started. The moment he listened to the word Ara Amudu, what is called in Sanskrit Atripta Amruta. Amrutam is a nectar. Nectar, we know, I think once created from the Govinda, once created from the milk ocean, right? Devatas and Asuras churned. And they got one pot full of Amrutam. And that Amrutam was kept preserved in Swargaloka. Whoever goes to Swargaloka, they give Amrutam. Many might have gone to Swargalokam so far from then till today, isn't it? And even if a small spoonful of Amrutam is given, by this time the Amrutam would have got exhausted. Then they have to start the process again. But so far they did not do. That means the Amrutam that was created in those days did not complete even today, in spite of thousands and thousands of yugas. That means you can imagine the taste of that Amrutam. I don't know why they call it Amrutam and how much they may be taking then. If you take a needle, put it in that liquid, what you call Amrutam, in that liquid, and if you put on the tongue of the person, he says, enough, 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 and may not be accepting more than that. Just the tip of the needle. That is the reason even today still that exists. Since when and how long? How much it has been stalled? We don't know. But they call it Amrutam and they like it. What to do? There are people, they drink Amrutam and they go into Swargaloka even today also. Right? Available in bottles. Some are country bottles and some are foreign bottles. having different types of names, etc. They call it Amrutam. By drinking that, they really go to the Swargaloka. Forget about, all surroundings and stuff like that. But if you even smell it, you feel like vomiting. What to do? For them it is Amrutam. Same in Swargaloka also, that is what they call Amrutam. They don't take it once they tasted even that needle tip of that Amrutam. But our Amrutam is different. The song says, Ara Amadu, Ara Atripta. It never makes persons to be satiated. That means not having taste. No. With delicious, most delicious taste, but makes them atripta. And for that Amrutam which came from the ocean, no life in that. But for Amrutam, there is a life in him. There is no jnanam in that Amrutam. For our Amrutam, there is a jnana. God. Our Amrutam is God. The more you see him, the more you feel like seeing him. The more you serve him, the more you feel like serving him. That is our Amruta. So it is Ara Amud. Govinda. And that Amrutam never bestows any extra stuff and consumed. But our Amrutam never get consumed. The more you use, the more it keeps on and on giving you. This is a kind of Amruta. That is the beautiful word says that. Nadhamuni Swami listened to the word and said, my God, this Tamil word is so cute, so beautiful, so deep in meaning, and so mysterious word it looks like. Who composed these songs? He asked the priests. Those priests said, at the end of the 10 songs, on the 11th song, it is said, Kuruhur Sedahopan Sonna Ayirathil Ivayum Oru Pattu. That means there was a scholar called Nammalvar or Kuruhur Setakopan. That Setakopan sung 1,000. Among those 1,000, these are only 10. This is what the ending song said. Oh, such a kind of songs are there, 1,000? Do you know all those 1,000 songs? He asked the priests. They said, we are sorry, we know only these 10 songs. My God, what happened to the rest of the songs? We don't know. Probably you need to find out. Where can I find these things? They said, he was in Kuruhur. Go to Kuruhur, which is called Tirunagari. Go to Tirunagari and just try to find out. Nathamuni Swami then immediately went to Kuruhur, Tirunagari, and then inquired about songs and inquired about Sedahopa Swami. They said, yeah, approximately 350 years before, or 3,500 and plus years before, there was a Setakopa Swami, of course, who is there in the temple. Seems he sung 1,000 songs. Oh, what happened to the songs? They almost disappeared. Why? Because whoever was singing those songs, they used to die immediately. they used to die immediately. You know why? In families, now after all, these are families, right? We are human beings with emotions and commotions. So what happens sometimes, if both are talking with a different kind of feel, then one may get upset. When one person gets upset, the other person feels like, no, I don't want to live at all. Sometimes the anger, the emotion goes to that level. After all, it is temporary. And if you wait for a few moments, or if you keep away from that situation for a few moments or just for a few hours or so, automatically when the time for food comes, all the emotions go down and again they become normal. But till then you have to wait, right? You should not take hasty decisions at that hot moment. But people won't think like that. They want to do something at once. So instead of making some kind of other attempt, if the Nammalwar's 1,000 songs are sung, they used to give away the body immediately and used to go to moksha. Govinda! Govinda. In a home, daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, sometimes if they are having so much love with each other, some kind of exchange will be there. And if husband and wife are so lovely, then also some kind of exchanges will be there. These things commonly happen in the families, It's not a big deal. But the temporary emotions should not spoil the system of the society. Probably some people thought when the emotions are high, they are chanting this Nammalwar's 1,000 songs, and then immediately Maranama Akki Vaigundam Kodukkum. It gives them the death, and then they go to probably moksha. People doing that, adopting that, and the families were getting disturbed. So probably people of those days thought, let's not keep this Divya Prabandham at all in the world. Then they discarded that. But those who learnt a few songs related to different temples, they used to chant them in those temples, limited to those temples. That was the case. Those songs sung by Nammalwar 3,000 years before disappeared almost. Only a few songs were remaining here and there in the temples. My God. But we need to find the proper reason for this. But how can we get them? We don't know. But let us consult some old people, some senior citizens of that time. When Nathamuni Swami met with them, suggested, when Nathamuni Swami was speaking, one of his disciples called Madhura Kavi Alvar, Madhura Kavi, a very, very great Vedic scholar, used to record all those songs. And out of devotion towards Nammalwar, he sung 11 songs by name Kanni Nun Siru Tambu. What is that? Kanni Nun Siru Tambu. It's a Tamil word. He sung 10 songs with that name. It is said, if those Kanni Nun Siru Tambu songs are sung for 12,000 times, 10 as a unit, thus we have to chant them for 12,000 times, it seems Nammalwar appears for them. and blesses them. That is what we heard from our elders. The old people suggested. As I said to you earlier, Nathamuni Swami was a great yogi. He was a yogi, he was a devotee also. And because of Govinda, Govinda, because of his yogic power and also devotion, he went to the temple, which is there in the Kuruhurt, in the Tirunagari, and sat before that Nammalvar at the tamarind tree where he used to stay, and then meditated that Kanni Nun Siruttambu, which we wanted to chant today in front of the Lord Ramachandra here. He meditated on them for 12,000 times. Surprisingly, Nammalvar appeared before him and asked him, "What do you want?" Nathamuni Swami said, "Lord, I want the great songs, 1,000, what you have sung earlier." Okay? But I can't give you like this. Now, I am in a deity form in the temple. And even a deity should not speak as per the agamic recommendations. So, have the Nammalvar's deity and keep a curtain in front of that. You be on the other side of the curtain, and I will be speaking from behind the curtain. Then you take a note of all those songs, and then you can get everything. He blessed Nathamuni like that. Nathamuni felt so happy, and probably he might have taken a recorder. We don't know. But his mind itself was a great recorder because he was a great yogi, as I said. Right? Or probably he might have taken a pen and paper, we don't know. But Nathamuni Swami was recording all that was spoken. Nammalvar was speaking from behind the curtain, being there in a deity form, Archamurti. He spoke all the 1102 songs for him. He recorded. After recording, what should you say? If somebody said a lesson to you and you noted down all of them, what do you do after that? You have to say thanks. But Nathamuni Swami didn't say thanks. I was just still holding the pen, paper, and sitting like that. Hey, what do you want? Are you not happy? I spoke all songs. Of course, Swami, but it seems you sung 3 more different songs. Oh, you want them also? If you so bless, fine. I'm really, blessed. No down.
బిర్యానీ పేరిట గొప్ప విందు జరపనున్నాం. ప్రపంచ బిర్యానీ దినోత్సవం. రండి, జూలై 2న సంబరం జరుపుకుందాం బిర్యానీతో.
Then Nammalvar started speaking those songs also. Nathamuni Swami took notes of 4 prabandhas, all the 4 prabandhas of Nammalvar. In spite of that, he did say thanks. Hey Nathamuni, looks like you are still not happy. If he say that I am not happy, then in spite of anything you won't feel happy. Oh, so go. If he says I am happy, thanks, then he will not speak anything. So he was just simply showing his curious face and as if he is ready to note down and waiting. Then Nathamuni Swami seeing his face and stuff, Nammalvar said, "Do you need something else from me?" Of course. "What do you want?" "It seems you are the divine form of all the Alvars. There are 11 more Alvars along with you. Nammalvar is one among the Alvars. There are 12 Alvars. Right? How many Alvars? 12 Alvars. 10 prime Alvars, 2 supporting Alvars, we can say. But altogether, they are 12. With Periyalvar, Goda Devi becomes a part. With Nammalvar, Madhurakavi becomes a part. But altogether, they are 12. So you are the main, the form of all the Alvars. And of course, you gave 4 Prabandhas, and I noted them down. I am so happy with it. But I want to know the songs, divine songs of rest of the Alvar. He asked. Okay. Then start noting down. And then he started singing the songs of other Alvars, like Periyalvar, Kulasekara Alvar, Tiruppan Alvar, Tondaradipudi Alvar. So many other Alvars also sung songs in Tamil language about the glories of God as described in Vedas, but better than Vedas. Because in Vedas, there are so many things were conglomerated, filtering all of them, getting the essence of divine qualities of the Lord and his activities and his divine forms, etc. Alvars sung those Tamil songs called 4,000 divine songs, celestial songs. Govinda, Govinda. Those celestial songs are called Divya Prabandhas, divine scriptures, divine revelations, we call them. Divine revelations. They are 4,000 in number total. All those 4,000 found by Natha Muni. And because he was very great scholar, not only knowing the Manava music, but also he knows the Devatas music as well. What is called as Devaganam? Ours is Manavaganam. Among the humans, the tunes, there are some fearful tunes, lovely tunes, melodious tunes, etc., right? They are pretty fearful tunes, no? But some are very melodious also. La, 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 la. They're a bit melodious, you know. So there are soft tones, hard tones, and harsh tones also. And wild tones as well. These are called Manava Ganam. But there is divine Ganam also, which Nathamuni was very much acquainted with. Devaganam. All the songs of Alvars, which were revealed by Nammalvar to Nathamuni, were tuned to Devaganam. How can you say what is Devaganam? Well, Nathamuni said. How do you say that Nathamuni knows Devaganam? Huh? Did you ask him? Or did you listen to that? But there was a nice episode in his life, in the Nadhamani Swami's life, whose birthday we are celebrating today. There were two ladies. One mastered Manavaganam, one mastered Devaganam. They wanted to survive. To survive, they need some kind of government job. You know, in India, most of the people try for government job. That's where, you know, so many problems are, you know, creeping, like reservations, non-reservations. It's only for that purpose, right? Mostly, majority. So, if the Raja Adharam, what you call that? Raja Adarana. If the kings support such kind of things, it will be always, you know, flourishing. So both girls went to the king of the day. And they said, sir, I know Devaganam and my sister knows Manavaganam. Please listen to these things and support us and provide some kind of, you know, support for our livelihood. And then the king said, come on, you sing, and you sing. Both sung. Devaganam, nobody was able to properly appreciate or understand, because we are human beings. We know only human Ganams. How can we understand Devaganams? We can't. So he was not able to appreciate, so he did not want to support that lady who knows the Devaganam, but he wanted to support the one who knows the Manavaganam. The other sister was pretty much upset. And then they came out. At that moment, Nadhamani Swami was passing by, observed these ladies. One is pretty much worried, and the other one is so happy. And he asked them, what is the matter with you? Then the lady who knows Devaganam said, sir, this is the fate. We met in the Rajya Sabha. Is it so? Come on, let me help to you. He took both of them to Raja again and said, hey king, this is Devaganam, very divine and powerful. Then the king asked, how can I believe that what you say is right? Then Nadhamani Swami said, look, I know Devaganam, and for that, I'll tell you a proof. Prepare, you know, bells, no? We use the bell in the temple. And there are few bells we use for talam while somebody is singing, right? There's also a small bell. Prepare 143 bells. How many? 143 types of bells, in which metal will be differing, size will be differing, and weight will be differing. Like, you know, while preparing, they add zinc, copper, or probably bronze, and then they prepare the bell. You understand? As we prepare the vessels. In some, add, you know, 1:63 26% of the material in one. In the next bell, change something. The proportions may be changed. And then size also may be changed. When you change the proportions, sound will not be the same. Understand? Proportions are changed, sound will be changed. Weight is changed, sound will be changed. Size is changed, sound will be changed. Like that, you prepare 143 types of bells, and I will see them all once as you are just ringing them. And then keep a curtain. I'll be sitting behind the curtain, and let somebody in the front side sit with all the bells and let them ring it. I'll tell which number of bell it is, what is the proportions of the material mixed in that, and what is the size of it. Is it possible to say? Is it possible? Those who know the Devaganam are able to do this kind of stuff. I know that. You can check. The king wanted really to check it, and he prepared the bells. And then the test started. Whenever the guy used to ring up a bell, Dadhabani Swami used to say, this is 93 bell. Because you need not, ring them 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Randomly pick up something and ring it. I'll be able to say that. That's what he pledged. And then he used to bring, yes, this is 78 number of the bell. The size is this. The metals are like this. He spoke about all the 143 bells. Then the king was awestruck. And then he said, yes, sir, we surrender to you now. Now tell us what to do. Then he said, see, this lady mastered Devaganam, so she must be respected more than the one who knows the Manavaganam. That is the capacity of Nathamuni Swami's, his brilliance, and his wisdom was like that. After getting all the 4,000 songs from Nammalwar, he introduced them to be sung in all the Lord Sriman Narayana's temples, starting from Srirangam, because Srirangam was the hub of all the temples. So from there he started introducing the singing of these songs during the Lord's Brahmotsavam in front of the Lord and in the presence of all the alvars. Even today, the practice goes well. And the people who belong to Nathamuni's family, called Arayars, are singing those songs even today. They will be having a big cap on their head and hold the bells in their hand. And then they sing those songs starting from Pallandu. They singing and then they explaining the songs. They dance with those songs. Whatever the incidents that are described in those songs, at different occasions, they stop the singing and they exhibit that in the dance form to the Lord. That is called Arayar Sevai. They are called Arayars, those who are following that tradition. Even today, they are there. They never sing those songs anywhere else except before the Lord. Except before the Lord of their temple. They never sing those songs anywhere else. They dedicated to singing there. Nathamuni Swami established that. The bhakti movement and blessed the world with that great knowledge. Of course, after that, it was taken by different people, even started adopting that in their own temples, like in Shiva temples, in Shakti temples, in Murugan temples, in Ganesh temples, etc. But the founder, Nathamuni Swami, for bhakti movement in general. And today is his birthday. For him to get that grace of alvars, these songs sung by Madhura Kavi Alvar called Kanninin Sirithambu helped. That became a means for him to get the grace. Today, being Nathamuni Swami's birthday, we also thought if we all sing those songs, though we may not be knowing the meaning, knowing meaning, some people say is very necessary. And there are sayings also, without knowing the meaning, chanting becomes waste. Huh? Ardhamu తెలియనిదే వ్యర్థము. You know, when we do not know the meanings of the songs, and chanting itself goes waste. It's not necessary, they say, which is wrong. Remember, to hear it looks good, but it is absolutely a wrong logic. You know why? You started speaking words when you are little baby. Do you know all the meanings of the words you are speaking? When you are very little, like 6 months or 8 months, you started saying tata, atta, tapa, kaka. Do you know what they are? Huh? Mom, tell me the meaning, then I speak that. Did you ever ask your mom like that? We didn't. Even now, for many words you use, you may not be knowing the meaning, but you are using them. Aren't you? People make you fools by illogical usages like, అర్థం తెలియకుండా చదవడం వ్యర్థమండి అంటే, అబ్బా నిజంగా బోలు అబ్బా ఎంత బాగా చెప్తున్నాడు. ఏం తెలియకుండా చేస్తే ఈజ్ ఇట్ వ్యర్థం? మీరు 6 ఏళ్లకు అన్నప్రాసన చేస్తారా పిల్లలకి? 6 ఏళ్ళకి కాదు, 6 నెలలకి. యూనో, వెన్ డూ యూ డూ ద అన్నప్రాసన టు ది బేబీస్? Normally they used to do at 5 or 6. Nowadays they may be doing at 4 or 3. Okay, whenever you do. I don't mind with that. That's not my concern. When you started eating the food at first instance, did you ask your mom, Mom, what are the contents? What is the content of the proteins and fat and calcium and carbohydrates, etc., etc.? Did you ask? At least are you asking now? Mom gives, you eat. Because mother knows better than you what is to be given and what not. Are you doing everything after knowing? Don't ask such a kind of foolish questions ever. But when it comes to God or good things, we need to know everything. We are knowing, doing becomes waste. We should not say that. So also the chantings about God, maybe in any language they are, in whichever language they first born, that becomes the mantra. That becomes the mantra. And if you want the mantric effect to that, you have to chant in the same language, in the same passion. But if you change, it will lose its mantric power. Yes, you can enjoy the meaning, no problem. There is no objection absolutely whatsoever. But it is to understand the meaning and enjoy, but not to get the power of it. To get the power of it, you need to chant as it appeared first. If it appeared in English first, chant it in English only, that becomes mantra. If it appeared in Hindi, it becomes mantra, then chant it like that. If it appeared in Tamil, chant it like that, that becomes mantra. Whether you know the meaning or not, it is so much immaterial. Or if it appeared in Telugu, chant it in Telugu only. You know Vemana Satakam? You know Sumati Satakam? How many of you heard about it? Yes, open it. Govinda कामं निशाचर विनाशकरं नमामि go. Now they have applied the sandal, now the turmeric paste, and thus they pray to the Lord, and then they offer the rest of the kalasas. The main kalasam to him will be offered. Pradhana kalasam they call it. तर्हि साक्रोश एव क्वाक्रोश कस्य गीतादिषु
मम विदितः कोत्र साक्षी सुधी स्यात् हन्तत्वत्पक्षपाती स इति नृकलहे मृग्यमध्यस्थव त्वम् त्वमेहं तदपि कुत इदं वेदमूलप्रमाणात् एतच्चानादिसिद्धादनुभव तर्हि साक्रोश एव क्वाक्रोशः कस्य गीतादिषु मम विदितः कोक्षी सुधी स्यात् हन्तत्वत्पक्षपाती मृग्यमध्यस्थव त्वम् सुराः सिद्धाः तीर्थमहर्षयः सेवार्थं स्थिताः सर्वे स्नानेनैतान् कृतार्थय सर्वमङ्गलसंयुक्ता वेदवाद्यादिघोषणैः सहस्रधारया स्नानं कर्तुं देव प्रसीद ओ सहस्रधार गोविंद ओम सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषा सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपाद सभूमिं विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलम् पुरुष एवेदगुं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् उतामृतत्वस्येषानः यदन्नेनातिरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा गोविंदा गो बोलो सीतारामचंद्र महाराज की सीता माता की लक्ष्मण स्वामी की पवन सुत हनुमान की विश्वं व्यक्राम नशने अभि तस्माद्विराड जायत विराजो अधिपुरुषः स जातो अत्यरिच्यत पश्चाद्भूमिमथो गोविंद गो देवा यज्ञमतन्वत वसन्तो अस्यासीदा ग्रीष्म इत्थमः शरद्धविः सप्तास्यासन् परिधयः त्रिसप्तसमिधः कृताः देवायद्यज्ञं तन्वानाः अबध्नन् पुरुषं पशुं तं यज्ञं बर्हिषि प्रोक्षन् पुरुषं जातमग्रतः तेन देवा अयजन्त साध्यार्षयश्च ये तस्माद्यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः पशुगुस्तागुश्चक्रे वायव्यान् आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्च ये तस्माद्यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः ऋचः सामानि जज्ञिरे छन्दागुंसि जज्ञिरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मादजायत दश्वा अजायन्त ये केचोभयादतः गावो हजज्ञिरे तस्माज्जाताजावयः यत्पुरुषं यदधुः कथिता व्यकल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य कौ बाहु कावोरोपादावुच्येते ब्राह्मणस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यः कृतः पूर्वतदस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागुं शूद्रो अजायत चन्द्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षुः सूर्यो अजायत मुखादिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणाद्वायुरजायत नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षम् शीर्ष्णोद्योः समवर्तत पद्भ्यां भूमिर्दिशस्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागुम् अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वा पुरस्ताद्यमुदा जहार शक्रप्रविद्वान् प्रदिशश्च तस्रः तमेवं विद्वानमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजन्त देवाः ते हनाकं महिमानः सचन्ते यत्र पूर्वे गोविन्द வெண்ணையடைந்த குணுங்கும் விளையாடு பொழுதையும் கண்டு திண்ணென வெவ்வேறா உன்னை தேய்த்து கிடக்கனானொட்டேன் என்னை புலிப்படம் கொண்டு இங்கெத்தனை போதுமிருந்தேன் நன்னலறிய பிரானே நாரண நீராடவாராய் லோட
செவியில் கட்டெரும்பு பிடித்திட்டால் என்ன கெடுமாகில் வெண்ணதிரத்தி
விழுங்குமாகான்பன் மராமரம் சாய்த்தாய் நீ பிறந்த திருவோணம்
நன்னனே
நீராட வேண்டும்
நாரணா ஓடாதேவா தேச்சி முலையுண்ணயும் நில்லாதே நெஞ்சம்
ஆய்ச்சியரெல்லாரும் கூடி
அழைக்கவும் நான் முலை தந்தேன் ஜெய் ஸ்ரீமன் நாராயண. Thus they are offering the Abhishekam. Now whatever that we have seen so far is Bahiranga Abhishekam. Now they go for Antarangika Abhishekam, Ekanta Abhishekam, and then they complete, then they decorate the Lord, and then we can have the darshan. And in between, let us chant the Kanninan Siruthambu. I was talking about it, right? Many people say, oh, it is in Tamil, we don't know the language, why should we chant it? Rather, we can say, some chantings that we know in our own language. And you can chant in your own language, which appeared first in your language, no problem. Like I am telling you, the Vemana Satakam, that's also a mantra, because it first appeared in Telugu. So if you chant that in Telugu words, that becomes mantra. If you translate it to other language and then learn it, it becomes appreciation. The meaning you understand, and you understand the glory of it. That's fine. But to have a mantric effect, you should take it in the language which that specific thing appeared first. Understand? These songs are also like mantras. They first appeared in Tamil. So you need to chant them in Tamil only. Like Tirupavai. Every day we chant Tirupavai. It's in Tamil. Some people thought, why it is in Tamil, we don't understand. Come on, let us change to Telugu format and chant them in Telugu. That will be nice now. Yeah, it is nice to understand and appreciate, to enjoy it. But to have the power, you have to chant in the original language only. So these songs first appeared in Tamil. That is how Nathamuni Swami chanted and got the power by experiencing the Nammalvar's presence and his Upadesha also, and which is even today sung by many, many people in the name of Divya Prabandhas. Right? 4,000 Divya Prabandhas. They call them as Nalayira Divya Prabandham, they call it. It's okay. Now, Nathamuni sung the glories of that Madhura Kavi who wrote these songs, who composed these songs. Right? We will start with it. First of all, let us chant the Guru Parampara and then we'll get into them. I will tell you, just you can repeat after me. Most of you must be knowing Sri Sailesa Dayapatram. How many of you know it? My goodness, many of you it seems. Oh, some people do not know it, looks like. Right? Okay. I'll tell you then for all of your sake. And then we sing the glories of Madhura Kavi in one Sanskrit verse and one Tamil verse, as sung by Nathamuni Swami. Then we go to the Kanninan Siruthambu. Come on, let us start it now. Sit properly and then let us do it. ఓం అస్మద్గురుభ్యో నమః. శ్రీశైలేశ దయాపాత్రం ధీభక్త్యాది గుణార్ణవం యతీంద్రప్రవణం వందే రమ్యజామాతరం మునిం. లక్ష్మీనాథసమారంభాం నాథ యామున మధ్యమాం అస్మదాచార్య పర్యంతాం వందే గురు పరంపరాం. యో నిత్యమచ్యుత పదాంబుజయుగ్మరుక్మా వ్యామోహతః తదితరాణి తృణాయ మేనే. అస్మద్గురోః భగవతోస్య దయైకసింధోః రామానుజస్య చరణౌ శరణం ప్రపద్యే. మాతా పితా యువతయః తనయా విభూతిః సర్వం యదేవ నియమేన మదన్వయానాం ఆద్యస్య నః కులపతేః వకుళాభిరామం శ్రీమత్తదంఘ్రియుగళం ప్రణమామి మూర్ధ్నా. భూతం సరశ్చ మహదాహ్వయ భట్టనాథ శ్రీభక్తిసార కులశేఖర యోగివాహాన్ భక్తాంఘ్రిరేణు పరకాల యతీంద్రమిశ్రాన్ శ్రీమత్పరాంకుశమునిం ప్రణతోస్మి నిత్యం. This is the Guru Parampara, what we call. Now, we are reaching to those slokas which were sung by Nathamuni Swami himself in praise of Madhura Kavi, who was originally taken the note from Nammalvar. Avidita Vishayantaraha Setharehe Upanishadam Upagana Matra Bhogaha Apicha Gunavasyat Tadekaseshi Madhura Kavihi Hurdaye Mama Avirastu. Let the Madhura Kavi appear in my heart, who dedicated himself to the lotus feet of Nammalvar, and singing his glories only was his divine mission. And he never enjoyed with anything else. Let such Madhura Kavi be always in my heart to lead me. வேறொன்னும் நான் அறியேன் வேதம் தமிழ் செய்த மாறன் செட்டகோபன் வன்குருகூரேறு எங்கள் வாழ்வாம் என்றேத்தும் மதுர கவியார் எம்மையாழ்வார் அவரேயரன். That Madhura Kavi is our protector, is our savior, who says that I don't know anything other than Nammalvar, who rendered Tamil songs as the quintessence of Vedas, who dwells in Alvar Tirunagari. These two are the songs presented by Nathamuni Swami in praise of Madhura Kavi. That Madhura Kavi wrote these songs which we are now going to start. This is the Prabandha. In the first song he says, my Lord Nammalvar feels so happy by chanting the name of Lord Krishna, who was tied up with a puzzle, or who accepted to be tied up with a puzzle by his mother. She can't do it, but he accepted his mother to do that. And of course, my Alvar may feel happy by singing the glories of Lord Krishna, but my tongue feels happy and becomes juicy when this sings the glories of my Alvar only. Only my Alvar. To my Alvar it is Krishna, but for me it is only Alvar and his divine name. This is how he starts. Here it is. Kanni nun சிறு தாம்பினால் கட்டுண்ண பண்ணிய பெருமாயன் என்னப்பனில் நன்னி தென்குருகூர் நம்பி என்னக்கால் அன்னிக்கும் அமுதூரும் என்னாவுக்கே. Did you understand anything? Not necessary. When somebody blows the flute, do you need to know the meaning? When somebody plays veena, do you need to understand the meaning? When somebody plays the piano, do you need to understand what are the words and meaning? Enjoy the beauty of the sound. That is enough. Just like the Vedic sounds. Right? Okay. Come on. In this, the first song, he says, Lord Krishna is a very mysterious and mischievous boy. He steals the hearts of everybody. The most naughtiest and ever loved by the entire world is Lord Krishna. Yes? And one day, he allowed his mother to tie him up with a puzzle. Because of her love, he allowed her to do that, thinking that My Alvar is always, mesmerized. And just he become unconscious whenever he thinks of that kind of activity. He always falls unconscious. You know why? Because the one who ties up the whole world with the karmic ropes, whom no one can reach even, such one became so accessible to a lady who is not educated, not did any penance or puja or japa or tapa, whatever it is, but only she got love, abundant love, and he became slave to that love. And then allowed her, yes, to tie him up and said, hey, don't raise the voice. That's it. He closed his mouth and not able to cry out of fear. By whom even the god of death is scared. And such one was said, no mom, don't beat me. Okay, I don't do it again. Already black. And the liners also there. And then he applies that like this. And then whole, that, what is the called that? That katuka. The kajal. Whatever they apply here, no, the black stuff. Already he is black. No black is necessary. But still when he just, rubs his eyes, and then all that black thing that applied here also, covered the whole face, and then water is dropped. What is the difference between the Pezzle and him is not able to be distinguished. When Kunti Devi went there for the first time, probably that was the first encounter of Kunti Devi, she went to visit Yasoda, and then the scene that she observed was this. There are two black stuffs. One is moving, one is not moving. One is moving like not able to open the mouth. But the sorrow is coming overflowing. And then he was so scared. And then rubbing his eyes. So one black stuff is moving, another black stuff is not moving. Then she realized the moving black stuff is Krishna. Other one is the Pezzle. That's how she was able to recognize. Huh? Is he like that? Is she really can do it? But he brought him down to that level. Because he was tied up with her love, not with the rope and her power. God, what are you? What is she? Why you came such kind of situation? And that too with a little rope. Take a long rope, you can easily tie it. She took the pieces of the ropes. Small ropes, lean ropes. There are knots. Kanni, nun, short, siru, small. And she tied up each one and started tying the stomach with the Pezzle. Not able to do it. Then she started, Ayyo, what is happening? That stomach is growing only with the butter, not even with the food. How tender it would be. That is the pain to Nammalvar. Thinking that he always feels unconscious. He falls in unconscious and wakes up only after 6 months. Such a kind of deep pain that he feels whenever he thinks such a kind of thing. What is necessary for you, my Lord? Is it really needed? You do it for our sake. To say, yes, I am accessible if you have such a kind of love. To prove it, then he showed it there. That's what Nammalvar sings. Yeah, with that act, my Alvar feels happy, but I am not. I feel happy whenever I sing the glories of my Alvar. We should remember, becoming devotee to God is okay, good. But there, sometimes he may accept, he may reject. But when you become devotee to devotees, then God cannot deny you. Because he loves the devotees. Whatever the devotees say, they do. He does it. So devotees always wants you to be graced. For them, God blesses you. So remember, going to God is only first step, but going to devotees is the last step. Even sometimes you fall from the last step, you come to the first. But if you drop the first step, you're gone. This is called Charama Parva Nishtha, reaching the final step, right? This is what here Madhura Kavi sings. Come on, let us do it again. Kanne nun sirutambinal kattunna panniya perumayan ennappanil nannitten kurugur நம்பியன்னக்கால் அன்னைக்கும் அமுதூரும் என்னாவுக்கே. Now let us go further. நாவினால் நவித்து இன்பமெய்தினேன் மேவினேன் அவன் பொன்னடி மெய்மையே தேவுமாத்தறியேன் குருகூர் நம்பி பாவின் இன்னிசை பாடித் திரிவனே. Madhura Kavi says, I am not a great devotee of God. I don't know anything. But surprisingly, I chanted the name of Nammalvar. That's it. I was just caught up like a piece of iron hooks to the magnet. I have no responsibility in that. I'm not connected to that. It happened on its own. And it gave me unbelievable joy. And then I surrendered to the lotus feet of Nammalvar. I spend my life with the divine name of Nammalvar only. This is what he says in the second song. Now the third. Tiritandagilum Devapiranudai Kariyakola Tiruvuru Kanbannan Periyavan Kurugur Nagar Nambikku Aluriyanai Adiyen Pettananmaye. I never surrendered to God. I don't want to go to God. I don't want to do any kind of stuff to him. But if my Alvar wants me to go and do something there, then only I can go to God and I do serve there. I do serve God not for my sake, nor for the sake of God. I do serve God if my Alvar instructs me to do so. Do you understand the state in which he is? Just like Shatrugna in Ramayana. Understand? Shatrugna, his name is Shatrugna, controlled all the enemies. What kind of enemies? Inner enemies. Who are inner enemies? Senses. Why they are enemies? Because they go on unwanted stuff, leaving the real great things like God. But Shatrugna controlled his senses, not going onto Rama. Onto Rama. Hey, what is that? Yeah. You know why? Because there are many people to take care of Rama and to worship Rama also. But Rama loved always Bharata. No one goes to Bharata. Everyone goes to Rama only. But Rama loves Bharata, and for that reason, I control my senses from going to Rama and keep them on Bharata's service. If Bharata says, do this to Rama, then only I do something to Rama. Otherwise, not for my sake, I do to Rama. That's what the Shatrugna was. This is what the Madhura Kavi Alvar is towards Nammalvar. So, if my Acharya, Nammalvar, when I surrendered to him and when I serving him, and if he says, you go to the Lord and do this there, then I do it to please my Acharya. That's it. That's what he says in this third song. Let's go to the fourth. Nanmayal Mikka Nan Marai Alargal Punmayaga Karuduvaradalil Annayai Attanai Yennai Andidum Tanmayan Setagopan Yennambiye. There are great scholars in the society, Pandits, scholars, great people. They never even look at me. I was so bad. I was a discarded person. Even they won't talk about me. When I am at such a low level, it's only the Nammalvar who accepted me for his divine service. And hence, he is my father. He is my mother. He is everything to me. Fifth, Nambinen Pirar nan porul Tannayum Nambinen Madavarayum Munnelam Sembon Mada Tirukurugur Nambikku Anbanai Adiyen செதிர்த்தே நின்னே. This is my greatness, reaching the lotus feet of Nammalvar. This is the brilliant act I did. Not knowing. Unknowingly I did it. That's all. There is a saying in Telugu, Tante బూరెల బుట్టలో పడ్డట్టండి. I was kicked to just somewhere, and surprisingly I fell in a basket of gulab jamuns. That, how did I fall? I love so much gulab jamuns, and I fell in the gulab jamuns basket. That is the grace. That is how Alvar did something to me. Otherwise, I was very much caught up with worldly things, many, many things. And I'm not a good kind of person. And I was always egocentric, more selfish, and I was like that. But once I caught up to the feet of Nammalvar, that's it. Rest of the things left from me on their own. When you light up the lamp, you need not to drive out the darkness. It goes out on its own. Same thing happened in my case too. Sixth, இன்று தொற்றும் எழுமையும் எம்பிரான் நின்று தன் புகழ் ஏத்தருளினான் குன்னமாட திருக்குருகூர் நம்பி என்னுமென்னை இகழ்விலன் காண்மினே. I was blessed by this great Alvar. Madhurakavi says, I was blessed by this great Alvar, so that whatever the sins that went away from me will never come back and capture me. Most of the times it happens whenever we are even in the divine presence there, and if we purchase them new and very costly ones, then our thought, though we are here, but our thought is around those shows. Are they safe there or not, or something like that. చిత్తం చెప్పుల మీద అన్నట్టుగా అన్నమాట. That's how it happens sometimes. So our karmas, though sometimes they go away from us as long as we are in divine presence, but sometime again they come and capture us. But the grace of Alvar made me, those which left from me will never come back and occupy me at all. And always he protects me with his divine grace. Kandu kondennai காரிமாறப்பிரான் பண்டை வல்வினை பாத்தி அருளினான் என் திசையும் அறியவியும்புகேன் ஒன் தமிழ் செட்டகோப்பன் அருளையே. It is the grace of Nammalvar which dispelled all the darkness of ignorance from me. I don't know how long, since how long I was suffering from it. But now He blessed me. And hence, I don't leave this chance. I start spreading this message of Alvar to every nook and corner of this world. This is only what I do now. That's what he says. Arul kondadum adiyavar inbura arulinan avvarumarayin பொருள் அவ்வருமறை இன்பொருள் அருள் கொண்டு ஆயிரம் இன்தமிழ் பாடினான் அருள் கண்டீர் இவ்வுலகினில் மிக்கதே. Getting the grace of God, my Alvar sung the quintessence of all the Vedas and Upanishads into beautiful songs called, Tiruvai Mori, and also the Divya Prabandham in general. There is no major grace than this, because God selects people to give His grace. My Alvar, no selection. I am the worst of the worst people, and He even blessed me to become His disciple and to sing the songs of Him and to sing the glory of Him. What would be the better thing than this? மிக்க வேதியர் வேதத்தின் உள்பொருள் நிற்கப்பாடி என் நெஞ்சுள் நிறுத்தினான் தக்க சீர் செடகோபன் என் நம்பிக்கு ஆழ்புக்க காதல் அடிமை பயனன்னே. The great secrets of Vedas, which are only available to the great disciples from their gurus after lot of tests and trials, etc. Such things, such secrets are revealed to the worst person like me, such that they will be fixed here forever, just like engraving on the stone. My heart is like a stone, remember? My heart is not so soft, and I am not so wise also. But even in my heart, as if it is fixed by engraving on a piece of stone, thus He kept all those secrets through His songs in my heart. What best I can do to my Alvar for this grace? Let me do whatever the services that are possible. I will do all those services to Him here. This is what Namalvar. So I sing His glories. Payanan Ragilum Pangalla Ragilum Seyal Nanraga திருத்திப் பணிகொள்வான் குயில் நின்றார் பொழில் சூழ் குருகூர் நம்பி முயல்கின்னேன் உந்தன் மொய்கழற்கு அன்பையே. The Nammalvar who is dwelling in Alvar Tirunagari called Kuruhur, which is always green and fresh with beautiful trees and cuckooing cuckoos and a beautifully singing cuckoos. You know, that is the grace of that place. The place itself is so great. You know, in few places, few things are available, isn't it? So the Nammalvar, like great people are available in that place, it seems. So the place brought out such a kind of Alvar. Muyalhinnen, I am pleading before him, though I am unfit for any kind of thing, though I am incapable of everything, but still, what and when my qualities are needed. If he is incapable, then my qualities are needed. If he is like Rama, he can make a grass blade also a Brahmastra. And because Nammalvar's grace is such, he can make me a very, very highly powerful instrument. Let him make me like that. Let me be dedicated in the form of an instrument in extending his services. Oh Alvar, please bless me to be like that. Last song. அன்பன் தன்னை அடைந்தவர்கட்கு எல்லாம் அன்பன் தென் குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்கு அன்பனாய் மதுர கவி சொன்ன சொல் நம்புவார்பதி வைகுந்தம் காண்மினே. God is loved by everybody. You know the Rama story, right? People of Ayodhya loved him. Sages loved him. Forest hunters loved him. Surpanaka, whose nose and ears were cut, even she loved him. In spite of that, she loved him, you know. And Vali loved him. You understand? And a Rakshasa, Sugriva, a Vibhishana loved him. A monkey, Hanuman, loved him. In spite of defeat, Ravana also loved him. This is something great. You know, when Ravana fell unconscious in his chariot, just before his finishing, and the charioteer took the chariot away from the war field. When he came out, then the nice cold breeze then hit him, and then he came to conscious and asked, "Where am I?" And the driver said, "You know, you are here." "Why I am here? Where is the war? Where are Rama and monkeys? Why I am here?" "Are you fell unconscious? To save you, I brought it here." I feel like seeing how Rama was removing the arrows and shooting them and throwing them. I feel like seeing them again and again. And you brought me here? Driver was very upset and said, "You fool, are you in the war field to enjoy the beauty of Rama's shooting? Huh? You know cricket, right? How many of you know cricket? Yeah. If the bowler is throwing the ball, a spinning ball, and if the batsman holds the bat and watches, my God, how he's jumping up and throwing the ball. What a nice bowling. What happens if he's watching the ball? All the 3 wickets have gone. Why he is standing there? To hit the ball, not to enjoy the bowler's, the skill. Are you Ravana? You are the batsman. Huh? Rama is the bowler. You have to hit the ball. And you want to enjoy the beauty of Rama's skill. That's why I brought you down here. Then what do you want me to do? If you again face the arrow by shooting another arrow, then I take you. Otherwise, my duty is to safeguard you. Wah, 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 wah. What a Rama he is. Shatroho prakhyata virasya ranjaniyasya vikramahi. This is what he says. Ranjaniyasya vikramahi. Ravana was also so captured by the bewitching beauty of Rama. You understand? That is what it is. So, he is always worshipped by all, no matter who they are, whether they are enemies or friends, whether they know or they don't know. He is ever loved by everybody. And such Lord loves my Alvar like that. You know, people love God, but God loves my Alvar. Now, whom should I catch? Why? Because if I start running after God, of course he loves everybody, but sometimes he may hit also. We don't know. Because, all independent. He's always, by himself. No one can control him. But my Alvar is not like that. He is always lovely. And God is also after him. So if I am with my Alvar, God comes for Alvar, and Alvar says, "Hey Lord, this is my disciple, take care of him." Done. My job is over. This is what Nammalvar says. The Madhura Kavi Alvar says in the last song, if anybody sings the glories of Nammalvar like this, remember, they will be coming out of their problems and they will be enjoying the divinity of God. Whoever sing these 10 songs, is what he says in the last one. Anban tannai அடைந்தவர்கட்கெல்லாம் அன்பன் தென்குருகூர் நகர் நம்பிக்கு